Everyone, welcome to Sisters for Financial Independence. My name is Catherine John, and here at Sisters for Fi, we help you manage your money better so you can live a life of impact today and tomorrow. In this video, I am going to share a summary of a very popular book called Your Money or Your Life. It is one of the first books that talks about financial independence and more specifically, financial independence and retire early. It was first published in 1992 and it has been updated and revised back in 2018. And I am going to provide you a summary of some of the steps that you can take from this book to start your FIRE journey. If you are not familiar with FIRE, I am going to link a video here. But basically, FIRE stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. And the goal is to accumulate and really change the way you view work and money so that you save early on and be able to have a lot more options down the line. This book is one of my favorite books, and I highly recommend it if you are pursuing FI or if you are looking to read a personal finance book for the year. It is a personal finance book, but it doesn't have all of the jargon that a lot of those personal finance books have. It's instead more of a way to organize and optimize your life so that you have maximal fulfillment and minimal cost. The second thing I love about this book is that it is one of the few books that talks about how our consumption affects both the wallet and the planet. And that's something that we need to start addressing as the years go on, especially with climate change and especially as our world changes with us. The book, Your Money or Your Life, provides 9 steps to help you transform your finances and achieve financial independence. And I am going to share those 9 tips in this video. I do recommend to still pick up the book, either secondhand at your library, or you buy it and use it or share it with someone because there's a lot of gems in the book in this book that you should read maybe once a year to gather more information, or perhaps there's an idea that hasn't stuck yet. And I think rereading the book will help you do that over time. The book has a few exercises that I recommend following along too. So I think it's good to have the book handy so you can reference what those exercises are. And even if you're not pursuing financial independence and retiring early, I think the book has a lot of good points about how to work and spend your money in a way that's in line with your values and the future you want out of this world. Step one of the book is titled Make Peace with the Past, and it asks an important question. It asks, what do you have to show for all the money you've earned? And basically, this step asks you to review your past income and what you've earned over your lifetime and run that against your net worth. This is called a lifetime income ratio. And you can figure out your lifetime income by going to socialsecurity.gov. It's ssa.gov. And I will also link a blog post in the description so you can check that out. And it is an eye-opening look at how much of your income have you saved in the past and is working for you for your future. It is not meant to shame or judge you for what the mistakes or what the decisions you've made, but more as a snapshot of where you currently are and where you could potentially go. When you do this exercise and you see the total income you've made and the total money you've saved, you may be shocked yourself at how much you've saved. If it's high, that's great. If it's low, keep in mind that this is just the start of your journey. So once you get those numbers, keep it handy so that you can reference back to it and you can start the other steps from here. The key thing to understand in this step is we can't unspend all of the money we've already spent, but We can learn new habits today. And those new habits can really be the difference between you reaching financial independence early on or you struggling to make ends meet when you are older. Step two is titled Being in the Present, Tracking Your Life Energy. How much money are you making for the amount of time you work? And in this step, the author asks that you calculate your real hourly wage. Now, when we calculate our hourly wage, we usually just take our base salary divided by the number of hours we work during the week. And the authors ask you to dive a little bit deeper into this and to really account for some of the things that are not exactly work related, but you do to prepare for work. This might mean adding your commuting time, time to prepare yourself for getting ready to go to work, time that you spend outside of work thinking about work, or even answering emails outside of work. We are in an age where we're constantly and always on, and there is a blur between working and not working. And checking email might seem like it's a 5 minute thing, but how much of your mental energy is being assigned towards that thought process? And in this step, the author asks you to calculate that. If it takes you 40 hours to work a week, plus another hour to check email, plus another 8 hours to commute, plus another few hours to get yourself ready and primed for work, how much does that really mean to you? And how much does that mean in terms of your salary? And what you'll find is that you'll find what's called a real hourly wage, which taken into account all of the extras means that your hourly wage may not be what you think it is. And for some cases, and a lot of us, it might be a little bit lower than what we thought. So if we thought we were making $26 per hour, but all these extras that we're adding on kind of adds up, it might mean that we're actually making $15 an hour. So this is an eye-opening look at your value and the energy you're putting into the work that you're doing. Step three is all about the monthly tabulation. And in this step, the author asks that you write down all of your expenses for your period of time. This could be a month to see what you're spending on. And the goal is to be more conscious about where you're putting your money, where it's going. And many times we buy things on impulse, we buy things as a treat. And the goal of this tracking is just to see where are you putting that money towards. Is it something that's a basic need, or is it something that is a want? Or maybe it's something that was just influenced, a purchase that was influenced by an external factor and that you had no intention of even spending in. And when you do this for a month, you'll start recognizing patterns within yourself, patterns in how you spend, perhaps there's some emotional triggers that may cause you to spend. So this is just a look at that type of action. Step four is all about three questions to transform your life. And the goal with this step is one, to review your monthly expenses. Again, your hourly wage, both hourly wage and real hourly wage. And you're going to ask yourself three questions for each line item. First question, did you receive fulfillment, satisfaction, or value in proportion to the life energy spent? Number two, is the expenditure of life energy in alignment with your values and purpose? And number three, how might this expenditure change if you didn't have to work for a living? So let's go through an example. If you make $25 an hour purely, but adding your commute time, your prep time, maybe checking email, that actually, you actually only make $20 an hour because you're working all those other hours. And if you buy a t-shirt for $20, is that trade-off worth it? Is 1 hour of your working life worth worth it to buy that t-shirt. And this will be an exercise you do for all of your other expenses to see if that trade-off. Like one of the things that we have to realize is that we are all traders. We exchange our time for money and money for services or products. We need to start being conscious of how we spend and to see if that is in alignment with our values. Right. I'm going to pause here for a second to talk about the fulfillment curve. And basically, it is a look at if what we're spending fulfills our needs, our wants, and is there a point where we're spending too much and creating clutter and hassle for our lives? The fulfillment curve shows you this, and there is a key point within the curve, and that point is what's called the enough curve. And it basically tells us that at some point, many of us will reach a point of enough. We have enough to meet our basic needs, we have enough to meet our wants, and we have enough to meet our luxuries. The rest, anything extra, will either be a hassle or clutter or things that don't add value to our lives. So keep the fulfillment curve in your mind as you go through the exercises in the book, but also as you kind of go through your journey towards financial independence. Step 5 is all about making life energy visible. And this is very similar to a vision board, but instead, you are going to put in a place that you see every day, you're tracking for your expenses. Where are the dips? Where are the spikes? Do you see trends in your spending? And the goal is for you to really focus your money, focus yourself and your goals towards optimizing your expenses, increasing savings, and increasing your investments. Now, this can be done either just on a regular piece of paper, you can use Excel, or you can use an app to track this. Our family uses an app called Personal Capital to do this, where it allows us to see our budget, our cash flow. I'll provide a link below for you to try it if you want to do it. But it is an app, it's free, and it allows you to track all of these things so that you have a better handle of where your money is going, how it's being spent, and if it's where you want it to be. Step 6 is valuing your life energy and minimizing spending. There's a quote in this book that states, save money, save the planet. Money is a lien on the life energy of the planet. And step 6 is all about conscious spending and eliminating of expenses. We live in a world of overabundance, right? We are constantly being told to upgrade, being marketed to get the latest and greatest item. And what we need to do is kind of step back from that and really analyze if what we need is something that we absolutely have to buy, or can we obtain it some other way. Um, the book shares 10 ways to save money, and I'm only going to share a few here. So I think it's worth picking up some of the book to get the rest. But one of the things is to live within your means. And this is easier said than done, of course. But what we have to really understand is that we have to be careful with credit. We have to be careful with what we buy. And we also have to look into not using spending as a default solution to a lot of our problems. This is where we get into a lot of trouble because we think that all of our problems can be solved by buying the latest and greatest. And this is where the mind shift needs to happen, that if you step back, take a look at what you have, see if you can reuse what you have, make do without, you'll be able to not only save money, but use your money for the long term. If you're curious how to make this step a reality, I would recommend doing a no spend challenge. And this challenge basically asks you to only spend on basic needs. And that may be only spend money on food, shelter, anything to keep yourself perhaps healthy, and everything else will have to wait until your challenge is over. So whether you do this for a month, some people have done it for over a year, it asks you to really be conscious of what you're spending. And it provides you a lot of alternatives too as you kind of go through about your days and weeks about what you're looking and need solutions for. So instead of you going on Amazon automatically to buy a book, perhaps you end up asking your friends or going to the library to get a book instead. Perhaps there's an item that you want to replace, but instead, because you're not allowed to replace it, you figure out how to mend it or figure out an alternative to use. And the no spend challenge can be a great companion to this step because it allows you to start thinking and creating outside the box. Step 7 is valuing your life energy and maximizing income. The goal of step 7 is to make sure that you are getting paid what you deserve. We are all exchanging our time, our value, and our skill for money. We need to make sure that we are getting that exchange is right for us. So this isn't about money, this isn't about greed, but really making sure that the exchange of life and value we put into our work is also being repaid back to us. Now, the lesson here really is don't be passive about the size of your earnings. If you cultivate positive attitude, take pride in what you're doing, show value, you deserve to earn more and make more. By making more money, you are able to reclaim your life energy. What that means is that once you do earn that money back, make sure you are paying off debt, saving and investing so that you can create security for yourself today and tomorrow. Step 8 is called capital and the crossover point. And this is basically the holy grail of financial independence. This means that all of your savings and investments generate enough to pay for your expenses. This is where you have reached financial independence. Now, in the steps before, you took the time to jot down your expenses, optimize your spending, so perhaps you've had it at a very stable and flat rate. Then you took some time to really value what you're worth. Perhaps you asked for a raise, earn more income, and were able to save the difference and invest it. And those savings and investing is where you will start reclaiming your life energy. This is what's called a crossover point, and this is where your savings and investments will pay for you to live, basically. So you can pursue other means, or you can continue the work that you do if you love it. It just means that you now have more options to do what you want with your life. The last step, step 9, is managing your finances. At this point, you have helped manage your expenses, earn more income, and have been able to pay down debt, save the difference, and invest the difference. From here, it's important that you continue to learn about finances so that you can continue to grow your money. And yes, it's fine to hire an advisor to help you manage your money, but you still need to know enough so that you can help guide those advisors to make sure that they are working in the way that fits your values. So remember that. In the original, the authors had recommended investing in treasury bonds to provide, like, I believe at that point in time, it was an 8% return. Unfortunately, that no longer works in today's world. So the updated version provides you alternative investments, which includes low cost index funds, real estate, and other investments that you need to research and be aware of so that it provides you the right risk and reward for the long term. One thing with financial independence is that you want to make sure you have enough money for the time that you are alive on this earth. And that money is enough not only to meet your basic needs, but to fulfill your other wants too. So with this last step is to just, it doesn't stop here. Just means to continue learning more about finances so that you can optimize yours for the future. I highly recommend this book if you are on a journey to financial independence or if you're looking for a book to read for the new year to help you save more money. It is a book that really talks about mindset and changing the way we spend, the way we earn, and the way we assign value to not only what we buy, but also to the life that we're living and the work that we're doing. Now, in the end, all of the steps in the book will help you manage your money better, allow you to optimize your spending, and also perhaps encourage you to earn more and encourage you to learn more about how you can save and invest the difference. If you read the book, I'd love to know what you think. Let me know in the comments below if this is a book that you would recommend to others, or if there's an insight in the book that you have taken on and that you would want to share with others as well. Don't forget, if you like this content, to like this video and subscribe to our channel, Sisters for Five. We will be doing more of these book briefs so that you can learn more about personal finance in under 20 minutes or less and really change your life for the better.